In Korea, population loss is more serious than the climate problem. Korea's fertility rate was 0.81, the lowest in the world. The fertility rate is directly related to the number of working people 20 to 30 years from now. When the number of workers decreases, taxes also decrease. This year, the death toll has started to outnumber the births. The population is already declining. The main reason for the low birth rate in Korea is that the share of housework and child care is concentrated on women compared to developed countries with high fertility rates. The gap between men and women in housework and child rearing hours is 4 to 5 times greater than in advanced countries. In Korea, low income and excessively high education expenses are other factors. Although Korea's gender equality and men's share of housework and child rearing are significantly higher than Japan's, the fertility rate is significantly lagging behind Japan's. In addition to the low share of housework and child care among men, it is presumed that other important factors that are not found in Japan are at work. Even if the birth rate increases from now on, it will take at least 25 years for time to become the working age population. At this rate, our welfare structure will be difficult. Spending money and making policies is of no use. These days, men and women of the same age visit to hate each other. Only when they meet each other they can marry or have children. Men hate women and women hate men. Men and women fighting each other with contempt. Both online and offline, they are playing a zero-sum game that doesn't help each other. In fierce competition, women and men think of each other as protagonists of serenity playground rather than as healthy rivals. Korea's peculiar realities, such as the subscription system, are the main cause of the conflict between men and women. Intensifying competition in the entrance examination and job market also had a significant impact. The younger generation is living in an era where it is much more difficult to find a job and finding a house than in the past. Young Europeans blame immigrants for the lack of employment. In Korea, this is transferred onto the opposite sex. Korea has a much lower employment rate for college graduates than Japan, and the real estate problem is serious. This is the reason why Korean young people are sensitive to fairness and inequality. The world system is built to keep pace with the slow change of the older generation. On the other hand, there are many things that people in their teens and 30s, who are the main characters of the conflict between men and women, do not understand. They think that they should not live like the gender roles of the previous generation of parents. Rigid gender roles start to break online with the wave of information. Even trivial stories are reproduced over and over again through the internet, of course. They are contents necessary for the changing of gender roles, but the content of the post that is extreme enough to arouse disgust stimulates the human brain and expands its production. In the real world, male and female sexism is not as clearly felt as it is online. There is a temperature difference between the outlet online and the real world. The moment when extreme hate is imprinted and generalized in our brains, before a healthy awareness of each other's gender roles is established, the mind's room for understanding and compromise may decrease. In Japan, the overeating of young men has once been a problem. Hyperpolarization is an old term that appeared in Japan in the late 2000s, and it is a term used critically refers to the younger generation, especially men, who are passive about dating or sexuality. In other words, it is a phenomenon in which young Japanese men are not active and avoid dating. It is also said that the proportion of twenties without a lover continued to rise around 2005. The cause of this phenomenon is the economic downturn caused by the economic downturn among the young generation in Japan, especially men. The increase in economic poverty, changes in attitudes towards the dating, such as birth, changes in the environment where people can spend time alone faithfully due to the development of entertainment due to Corona-19, the decrease in face-to-face meeting opportunities is cited as a result. Among them, economic poverty is the most frequently mentioned factor in relation to the avoidance of dating. In particular, there are many people in their 20s who have a difficult life, as the proportion of unemployment or non-regular workers is higher than in their 30s and 40s. As a result, there is a tendency to view dating as well as marriages as a luxury that is an act of low cost effectiveness in the 20s. Even among these in their 20s in Japan who have relatively little money for high education and full-time job, there are cases of avoiding dating based on cost effectiveness. It is more important that the values and attitudes towards dating have changed more than the economic conditions. If you want to be in a relationship, you have no choice but to spend money, time, and mental energy for the other person. More people are showing a more defensive attitude than in the past. In the past, it was taken for granted to meet and marry the opposite sex at a certain time. Recently, it is common to question or reject such a justification. Also, the words abandonment of love and unmarried are popular. The low birth rate is more serious than in Japan. In a situation where the future is uncertain due to job competition and high house prices, the MZ generation in Korea, called the N4 generation, tends not to spend time and effort in finding a romantic partner.